Hello class, welcome to Data Literacy. This video will act as your orientation, how to navigate the course, and I will go over the syllabus, which is the main guide in the course. So you should always follow the syllabus. You follow the syllabus, everything else will come quite easy to you. It is absolutely your guideline to success. So first, I will go over the syllabus. This is the course homepage. So when you come into Data Literacy Online Session 1, this is what you'll see. The syllabus is located in two spots. It's right here in the top because it's very important. It also is so important that it has its own tab here in the menu. So either option works. Click Course Syllabus, and here we are. So class is Data Literacy, and it's the summer session. I'm the instructor, Adam Patterson. You may email me at any time, adam.patterson@nichols.edu. I'm usually researching into the late hours of the night, or I'm grading papers. So email me at any time. I'll try to give you a response within about 12 hours. I understand this is an accelerated course, so I try to give feedback and answer as soon as possible because I know there's really no time to waste. And you should have that same attitude when following the assignment schedule. We condense 15 weeks of material in a very small amount of time. So it can be rather intense, but that's no fear. If you have any questions, I'm always here for you, but hard work will be required. So if you find that I haven't answered maybe within 10 to 12 hours, or maybe your concern is a little more immediate, and you'd like any fears to be eased, my phone number is here for you, and that will get you a more immediate response. But I don't anticipate you will need that because I'm very responsive with my emails. I know this is an online class, but I decided to give my office hours in case you're ever on campus in the coming years. You want to drop by, we can go get a coffee, really anything, so you know where to find me on campus. More appropriate for this course is the student virtual drop-in hours, and they are by appointment. So anytime you want to meet me over Zoom, you have any questions, send an email, and I will schedule a Zoom that's convenient for both of us. The course dates are May 13th through June 28th, and there are no meeting dates and times. It's an asynchronous learning environment. So what will this course entail? The course introduces principles of data literacy that will give you the confidence needed to read and use data in both everyday and working life. So data has become essentially a requirement in almost any job, and this is going to prepare you for that, whether you're finance, accounting, marketing, economics, anything. Data is huge nowadays. It's almost a requirement as a twofold skill. So whatever your domain expertise is, let's say finance, but you also need these skills to work with data. You can see that by really clicking on any CNBC article and how companies are restructuring their teams with a more data focus. And I believe this trend will only increase in the future. And that's why Nichols College is very innovative, and they require all students to take this data literacy course, right, to understand the baseline knowledge of data and what it can do for businesses. So the ultimate goal for the business is that data will drive an informed decision, right? So that's one of the goals here is data informed decision making using the 4 levels of analytics, which we'll see extensively throughout the course. The lectures are really set up to almost really hammer home this point, the 4 levels of analytics: descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. And companies are using this and they're not stopping, right? Once they're done with the prescription, they go back and it's called the feedback loop. They iterate the process and they do it all over again, right? They update, they take new data, they use descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, make another prediction, and another prescription. So it never stops. And it's really, really powerful because you can arbitrage different errors and drive optimization and efficiency within the business. So it's huge. It is absolutely huge. Topics uncovered will include data fundamentals, data fluency, introductory data analytics, storytelling with data, data visualization, and the big one, data-informed decision-making, as we covered. That's the end goal, right? We're not doing data just because we think it's fun. and we want to use all these stats techniques, and we think we look cool. We do it to drive an informed decision making to either increase revenue or drive costs down. So students will gain hands-on experience using the suite of Microsoft Office tools and will prepare a final project. So Excel, you'll have all the homeworks with Excel, which you'll see, Microsoft Office tool. You'll also use Excel when doing data analysis for the final project, and you'll get very comfortable with PowerPoint, a Microsoft Office tool, creating your final project. And this will kind of replicate a business environment for giving project deliverables to your boss when he's interested in assigning you a task. You'll not only have to develop insights, but you'll have to efficiently present them in a small amount of time because your boss is very busy, and sometimes to a non-technical audience. So that's what the final project really is hitting home for. It's not only performing this analysis, but efficiently communicating. Communication is huge. So the primary goal is to increase students' skill and comfort level in understanding and working with data. I'm confident we will reach that goal. Course learning and outcomes. These are the outcomes and assessment and how it relates to the college outcome. So textbook and course materials. We will use the MyEducator Excel Lab, and it will build foundational knowledge of Microsoft Excel. I found this tool to be quite impressive. As you can see in the home section here, there's a video, a MyEducator instructional video. I walk you through how to set it up, how to purchase it, and how to really input these codes into Excel. Also in the video, I go over that there are two options for help. If you're a visual learner, there's a video that walks you through each kind of question or each step. Or if you like to read, there's also a book and a text option. So it's very, very user-friendly, and that's what makes me really impressed with this MyEducator. So back to the syllabus. We have a book that is recommended, right? Purchasing the book is optional, but it's highly recommended. It's called Be Data Literate by Jordan Morrow, and I took a lot of the lecture information from the book. So if you read the book, it'll just kind of reinforce the 4 levels of analytics, and kind of how to communicate, how to be curious, how to be creative, etc. with data and what that can do for you. So, I try to kind of water it down and I give you just the most salient points in the PowerPoint. But if you want all the information in a great, great book, and it's very easy to read, it's very enjoyable, it's right here, Be Data Literate by Jordan Morrow. And you will certainly gain a competitive advantage with data if you read the whole book. I will almost guarantee that. It's a great book. So here are the course policies. Students are encouraged to submit all late MyEducator assignments throughout the semester for an opportunity to realize course credit. So all materials must be turned in by the end of the last class, but all assignments will incur a 1% penalty for each day late. And this is really due to the accelerated format. It's to keep you on track for success. The penalty will be strictly enforced. And this is really just to motivate you to reach your goals, because if you save all the homework for the last week, it'll be very overwhelming. Plus, we have the final project and final exam, and we don't want to overwhelm you. We want to get you a good course outcome to actually learn material and get you a good grade. So it's not just about the grade in this class, because if you do well and you learn the material, which should be your first priority, right? Gaining a competitive edge, gaining skills, so that way you can be competitive in the labor market and get a nice job, then your grade will certainly follow. So that really should be the main goal, is just learning these techniques, learning these skills, learning this 4 levels of analytics to the best of your ability. And to do that, cramming is really not the best option. So the penalty will be strictly enforced, and it's 1% each day late. So we'll have no midterm in this class. That's from the previous syllabus. I should have taken that out. So we'll have a final project and a final exam, and they will not be accepted late. They're due the last day of class. And The reason for this is ultimately not meeting deadlines is going to cost you at your job. So let's simulate that job environment right now and get you meeting deadlines early on in your career. That way, it's just a normality when you land that big job getting out of nickels. So you may email the instructor at any time for clarification of course materials or to request a Zoom meeting. So anytime. I'm always here for you. Like I said, I'm up researching till very late, late hours, especially in the summer. This is really my research time, and I really enjoy performing research. If you're interested in what I'm doing for research, we can schedule a Zoom. I can go over some papers or show you some data that I'm running. I'd be happy to do that. As we can see here, this is the grading scheme. We have the MyEducator Excel Lab worth 4,000 points. We have the final project and presentation worth 3,000 points. And the final examination due June 28th is 3,000 points. So there's a total of 10,000 points in the course. And bonus points will be available throughout the semester. The MyEducator Excel Lab, there are 30 MyEducator Excel homework assignments. Each assignment is worth 100 points. There's a 1% penalty for each day the material is late, as we stated. These assignments are independent of class lectures and may be done in advance of the deadline. So this will get scaled up to reach 4,000 points, but in the system, they're just 100 points each. Students are encouraged to visit ACES. I don't know if this is available in the summertime, if there's any kind of virtual tutoring, so I just kept it in there. If not, I'm your tutor, so reach out to me. As we can tell, there's a test your skills assignment at the end of each module, which doesn't have any video instruction. It's meant to test your skills, but I have created a couple of these videos myself, and they are located in the last few Excel modules. So the advanced modeling and the modeling, one of the columns uses like 7, it's called a nested if statement, which you'll see there's like 7 if statements wrapped around in each other. So this can become quite difficult for students. So I kind of walk you through that myself because I really want you to not only learn the material, but I want you to earn a good grade in this course. But ultimately, the beginning ones, they're really up to you to do because they are designed to evaluate your mastery of Excel and how well you learn the materials. And you can do these MyEducator labs as much as you want. There's no limit. So there's no 2 or 3 submissions. You could, drive up your grade as much as you'd want, as much as you're motivated. And you'll see how to do that in the MyEducator video. So the final project, students will play a role of financial and business analyst at Dudley Hill Golf Club. So there'll be no groups. You will not have a team member. You'll be individual groups, but you'll utilize point of sale transaction data from the golf club. And using these newly created data analysis skills from MyEducator and from the lectures, you are tasked with developing insights to drive profitability at the college-run golf club in Bisonden. So after analyzing the data, you are to create a PowerPoint and record yourself delivering your insights and recommendations. You can record yourself by attaching audio over each slide in PowerPoint. So you create a PowerPoint and then you insert audio, and you can just record yourself talking over that PowerPoint. That'll be sufficient for this class. So the project materials are in Final Project module in Canvas. There will be a final exam, and it's 41 multiple choice questions, and it'll cover pretty much everything in the lectures. There'll be no Excel functions asked. There'll be really nothing about Excel theory or what a function should do. It's all that is for the final project. It all relates to lecture slides. So topics uncover reading data, knowing the different types of data. The 4 levels of analytics are big. Familiarity with data visualizations, which is also quite big. You have to understand trends, and there are, I think, 1 or 2 questions about correlation and how correlation does not imply causation, a pretty important topic for data analysis. So as I stated, the questions will cover all materials in the PowerPoint lectures. So here's our course schedule, and you might want to print this off, put it close to your computer, because this will set you up for success if you can check off things and make sure you're on the right track, maybe even a couple days ahead. So me as a student, I did take a lot of winter and summer courses in my undergraduate to graduate early, and I would find these courses rather intense, but I did find it helpful to print off the course syllabus schedule page like this and actually post them in my room. So that way I can either cross things off or circle things and make notes. And every time I kind of entered my room behind my desk, it was there for me. So it was always fresh and I kind of knew what I had to do, and it really kept me on track. And I was always trying to be 3-4 days ahead. So it's hard to get, weeks ahead or 2 weeks ahead in an accelerated format, but I absolutely tried to stay a couple days ahead, not only to help my own learning, but it's just going to kind of reduce the burden as the last week comes. Because the last week, you can see you take a final, you have an Excel 8 due, and the final project is due. So you have to be working on the final project, June 10th through 16th before this, right? You can't just cram and do everything the last couple days when it's due. You have to be kind of a chess player with an accelerated format. You have to be very strategic and allocating your time and resource efficiency. So the first week is really an introduction of the course, the first 3 days rather, and I really want you to embed My Educator to the computer and Excel. Get used to My Educator. Hopefully you can start doing all of Excel 1 in these 3 days, and that'll get you your jump start. The course is open now, so it's even open 6 days early for this. So you have actually a 6-day head start on top of this 3 days. So you can really get going with Excel and the PowerPoint. May 13th through May 19th, the end of week 1, you have to cover what is data, right? The PowerPoint slides, and data analytics, the 4 levels. So the 4 levels are absolutely huge, a big PowerPoint slide. And the recommended reading is right here, chapter 1 through 4. And these are absolutely required. So you can see the readings are optional, but the Excel material is required right here. So chapter 1 through 4, it's highly recommended if you get the book. If not, all that material is pretty much in these, not all the material. The most important information is in the lecture slides, but there's additional information, very powerful in the book that I couldn't compress into a PowerPoint slide. It would take too long. It would be too long. But these are absolutely mandatory, the Excels. So Excel 1 is due by May 19th. And you can follow down the same kind of logic for week 2, May 20th through 26th. You're covering what is data literacy slides, and you should start the final project. So you don't have 2 slides. You don't have 2 lecture slides that week. You have 1, because I'm hoping that you will start the final project or at least familiarize yourself with the data, kind of understand what is required in the final project, maybe make a template for your slides, and then fill in your analysis as you develop these Excel skills. So you can't really do a lot of data analysis until you do Excel 3 or 4, but you can certainly, like I said, kind of get a plan of attack, start understanding what's required of you. That way when you build these Excel skills, you can kind of go back and plug them into what your hypothesis was, or what data is available, so it can kind of give you ideas. So it's just a good exposure for the final project, and I really hope that you look at that module early on in the course. Excel 2 is due May 26th. Coming to the 3rd week, we have 2 lecture slides, reading and speaking the language of data, and combining data literacy in the 4 levels. The Excel 3 will be due June 2nd. And the 4th week, we have the 3 C's of data literacy, and we have data-informed decision-making. I think these slides are very powerful. And then we have Excel 4 due June 9th. So the fifth week is a week where you should just work on your final project. There's no lecture slides available. There's no lecture slides required, rather. So you should be working on your final project, and you work hand in hand with doing 2 Excels. So Excel 5 and 6, and this might give you ideas on what to work for in the final project. So you're learning different techniques in Excel 5 and Excel 6, and you can directly apply them to the final project, hopefully. That's the whole goal this week. So they kind of work hand in hand. And then week 6, we have applications to business lecture slide, and you again are required to work on the final project. And your assignments are prepare for the final, and Excel 7 is due. So prepare for the final is just make some study notes about all the lecture slides. It'll cover pretty much everything on the lecture slide. Week 7 is a review for the final exam. I will post Data Literacy Jeopardy. That's what we do in class. Obviously, we have teams, but I'll still post it for you to do individually, and you can kind of click on the different topics, different question amounts, because the final exam is taken very, very similarly to Data Literacy Jeopardy. So the questions aren't exact, but it's very, very close. There are no curveballs. So if you understand Data Literacy Jeopardy pretty well, you might perform well on the final exam. That's the whole goal, and that will be posted under the final exam. So it's just a link, and the final project. That's what we should be working on too this last week, because the final project is due June 28th, the same day as the final, and Excel 8. So you have a lot due June 28th. I would try to get Excel done maybe a little earlier. Your final project should be wrapped up by June 28th. That way you can just take the final. And that's it. That's the syllabus. So now how to navigate the course. So we can go on home right here, and all the modules are kind of lined up in order. So what is data? This is your first PowerPoint, and these are your first Excel assignments, and they go in order. Module 2, the second lecture, and the second Excel. So anytime you want to click a PowerPoint, you can click the PPTX, the PowerPoint extension. You can view it here, or I highly recommend clicking this and it'll download. Right? Download to your computer if you click this link. Or you can view it here if you'd like. So all this information from the whole course is on the home page, or the same information is on the modules tab. So again, it's up to you, whatever you like. If you like going to the modules, I just gave you that option. I gave this in the home menu tab. We have assignments here, which this shows by date, right? The upcoming assignments. So it kind of helps you with the schedule. Stay on track. So you have 5 items due May 19th. After that, you have 5 more items due May 26th. You can keep going, right? You can see the final exam, it's due June 28th. And the final project, June 28th also. You can also show by type, and this breaks it down into the 2 finals. Final exam and final project, and the MyEducator Excel assignments. Right, so you have show by date, show by type, 2 options for you. To check your grades, you'll come in the grade book here, and you can see where your current score is on each assignment. All right. So I think that's good for a course orientation video. If you have any questions, please reach out, and I'll be happy to answer them.